Good evening, everyone. This is just Bob Bowman, and I'm back at it with another live stream. Um, it's been 2 weeks since I put up my first video since coming back from the DR on my vacation, and this has been a very interesting experience. Um, I've had a lot of positive responses for me doing these live streams and being able to express myself the way that I would like to, and I really appreciate it. Before I get started, I want to do a little bit of small talk because I had to go to Walmart in a little bit and pick up a few items. And one thing that I did back in January of 2021, I changed a lot of the products that I use hygiene wise. Like before then, I was using uh, soap, body wash from the dollar stores, and deodorant with aluminum, and toothpaste with fluoride, and the cheapest mouthwash. And I realized that being cheap as far as hygiene products is not good, at least for me, because a lot of that soap, the shower gels, and things of that nature that they sell at the dollar stores, they really don't get a person clean as what they should be. A lot of it is just deodorized soap, as they call it. So I changed my habits as far as that. I stopped using deodorant that got aluminum in it, so it won't affect my skin or my health. Because I noticed that when I was using deodorant with the aluminum, sometimes I would break out, and like I've gotten better at that. And so now that my hygiene has increased better, like I feel a lot better about myself. Like I know I'm clean. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of men out there that don't understand that certain soaps don't work for their skin. It might work for other people, but you got to figure out what's best for you. So with that being said, I want to get into the topic at hand. And the topic at hand is, am I a deadbeat? I'm 40 years old, no children, single, unmarried, and I don't have any real prospects. But in the community where I come from, men that are like me are considered deadbeats for some reason, even though I have no children of my own. I made no children. And I will say this publicly: if I ever got a woman pregnant, she ended the pregnancy without me knowing it. And I don't have any children at this time. But there are some people that will look at me and say I'm a deadbeat because I'm not stepping up and helping some woman who done had a child or children with different men, and I'm not helping her with raising those children, even though most of the times they don't want me to do anything but spend money and not have any input into the relationship or the decision making. They want to do things their way. Those are her children. They don't have respect for the man that's doling out the money or what it is that he's doing for those children. They only looking at that man as a utility. And growing up, I realized that being a part of the community, men that grew up in the position that I was in were being groomed to be those men, the cleanup men, as they call it. The men that take all the crap off the women, the ones that get punished for not being so called good enough for them. And they have to just do what it is that they can do in order to have somewhat of a relationship. And the good thing is that a lot of men are waking up right now. They're waking up and they're seeing what's going on. They're exploring their options, and they're allowing themselves to do what they need to do in order to make themselves happy, and not allowing themselves to cave into the peer pressures and the pressures of the community to do what it is that they want them to do, because they understand that the options that they're are given right now are a bad deal. It's a bad deal. Like, why would somebody in my position get with somebody who he knows he isn't anywhere near attracted to them? He knows that this woman doesn't really respect him and she only wants to use him to get money out of him for her kid or her children, especially if it's multiple children with different men. Usually that woman is looking at that man as a payday. They don't have respect for that man. They down that man, and more than likely she will end up stepping out on that man with somebody else that she really actually want to be with. And so, why would any man who is a logical thinking man, a man who understands what's going on in the world, why would they take that deal? Well, one of the reasons why some men take that deal is because they lose hope in themselves. They say, I can't get anything better. I might as well just deal with what's given to me right now and just do what I can with what's happening instead of being a man and looking for different solutions than just being upset with the problem, because it's like you have to make a choice in life on how to deal with difficult situations. Like a situation like this, you could either cave in and give in to what the community wants, or you can not cave in but stay to yourself and be angry, or you can venture out, and that could be venturing out of the city, the state, the country, traveling to find your own happiness. I'm not saying that you need a passport to pursue some happiness, even though that's one of the things that I decided to do for my personal life. Um, I would say that your experience will be different from my experience. Some people have a good experience when they go outside and travel. Some people have a bad experience, and I only had one so far, so I'm still pretty new to this. I'm still pretty new to passport and traveling and doing things of that nature. But at the same time, I know that I made up in my mind that I'm not taking a bad deal, regardless of if I get ostracized, shunned, humiliated, um, get cast away by the community. I've said before that I was canceled. I really was canceled. I was deemed irrelevant and pushed to the side. But at the same time, I realized that it's up to me whether or not I was going to stay in that space. If I was going to just allow myself to be silent, or if I was going to speak about my experience and speak about my ideas and my viewpoints and still get it out there, regardless of who likes it or who doesn't like it. And this is part of my healing process. Everybody has a different type of way that they heal. And me healing is, to me, to talk about what it is that I've personally experienced. Maybe what it is that I experienced can help somebody else out, or help somebody see a different point of view if they want to. Or it could be used as a form of critique for some that want to, still look at me as not being good enough. They could still use my material and tear me down with what it is that I say because they don't agree with my viewpoints. But that's what it is out here in the world, you know. And I had to ask myself, am I willing to let people punk me out to the point to where I allow myself to get used for the benefits of others while I'm still miserable? If I'm going to be miserable in life, I might as well do something that's going to alleviate that misery, even if it's temporary, instead of allowing myself to be put in a situation that I really don't want to be in just to help somebody else life not be as miserable for them. That's what they expect from men like us, men like me, is to just settle, Don't say anything. Don't complain. Just be a footstool for everybody. Sacrifice my personal life for them while getting treated like crap and then die. You know, being used like a battery. But a lot of men now don't want to get used like a battery. We would rather venture off and figure out what it is we need to do for ourselves in order to build ourselves up, build our confidence up, be the best versions of ourselves. Even if that mean that we take a risk of being by ourselves for the rest of our lives. Like we know that we're not going to take that low level position that was given to us that we know that we don't deserve. And I know that life isn't fair. I've had people, like I said before, I've had people accuse me of thinking that everything's supposed to be fair. I know that it's not fair. And since I know it's not fair, I'm still choosing to fight against what it is that they think in their logical mind that I should do. But I have a logical mind of my own. And I know that if it affects my network, if it affects the way that individuals treat me through their actions, if it affects my ability to have friends or be around certain people, it really doesn't matter. Because at the end of the day, you cannot shame anybody, you cannot pressure anybody, you cannot insult anybody into behaving in the way that you think that they should behave in. So, as a single man with no children that's unmarried, am I a deadbeat? To some people I am, because they looking at me like, oh, you should be taking care of somebody else's children since you're this age and you don't have any. You should step up and be a stepdaddy to somebody. You have to think about how it was for you when you were growing up. You needed somebody in your life, but I really don't care. It's not my fight. Just like my problems isn't anybody else's problems. Nobody else's problem is my problem. I don't care about if somebody is growing up without any father figure in their life, because they're going to have to figure out life on their own anyway. Now, I'm not saying that I'm not going to do totally anything, because I do volunteer every once in a while, and I do speak to some youth here and there, like, and it's informal most of the time. So it's not like I'm not doing anything, period. But at the same time, I'm not going to allow myself to be taken advantage of for somebody else's burden to be lightened while mine is becoming even heavier than what it is right now. So I just had to come to the conclusion that there are going to be some people that's going to say every negative thing about me in the book until they get me in the position that they want me in. And it is a battle of the wills, it's a battle of the mind. So if I'm a deadbeat to you, so be it. I'm a deadbeat with no children. I played the stepdaddy role several times in my life. Where did it get me? Here, right by myself again. So you can think however it is that you want to think of me. You can say what it is, however you want to say about me. It doesn't matter at the end of the day, because I'm still doing what it is that I want to do. But at the same time, I'm defending myself and defending my viewpoint and letting it be known that from my perspective and from a lot of people's perspective, I'm not a deadbeat. I have no children. So how can I be a deadbeat without any children? It makes no sense. I could be a deadbeat to myself. That's if I was just being a no load and not even taking care of my own responsibilities. But I know that I'm doing the best that I can to do that. So the question is still there, like, how am I a deadbeat? I help out family whenever I can. Does a deadbeat help out their family? Does a deadbeat do volunteer work? Does a deadbeat help out the community? Does a deadbeat take the time to express himself in a way that is comfortable for him and where he can get his point of view across? I think not. I don't know what else to say about this. I can say that this viewpoint in the community is foolish. It's very foolish, in my opinion, because the only thing that you're doing is you're pushing men like me further and further away. The men that's actually out here trying to do the best that they can. The men that are doing their best not to harm or hurt anybody else. The men that know that they made mistakes and are doing the work to improve those mistakes. So if you want to keep pushing us away, go ahead and do that. There's nothing that I can do about it at this point, because I know from my perspective, I'm being pushed out. I never wanted to be pushed out. I just wanted to be respected from the viewpoint that I'm coming from. And I know that that may never happen. But me doing these live streams is kind of helping me with understanding that. I listen to other YouTube live streamers, content creators, and the more that I hear different point of views, I understand that I just have to be comfortable with where I'm at this point in my life. Ain't nobody really gonna understand where I'm coming from 100%. 100%. And the reason being is because they already have in their mind what how they think it should be. And guess what? Just because it's good for you doesn't mean that it's good for somebody else. Like I said before, like traveling isn't for everybody. Um, Somebody that has low self-esteem in themselves, like maybe they shouldn't be with a real good looking woman. Maybe they should be with somebody that they think in their mind that they belong with. But I know for myself, I'm still working on myself. I'm still fighting against everything negative that was thrown at me. I'm accepting where I'm at currently, even if it's a position that I don't necessarily want. But at the end of the day, there's nothing that anybody can do about it. Like I made my choice. I made my choice as to I'm going to choose who it is that I would like to be with. And if it ends up being somebody with a child, I'm okay with that. If it ends up being somebody without a child, I'm okay with that. But at the end of the day, it's going to be my choice. Mine. I'm the man as far as my personal decisions. I don't care about how it is you think about me. I don't care what it is you personally think is best for me just because you're on the outside looking in and you looking at me and you're making judgments about me without understanding my character fully or better yet not even caring about who I am as a person. You just want a situation to be settled. Life doesn't work like that. And like I said, everything everything isn't going to be perfect. Like I said, like for 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 example, I go to the gym, I work out, I don't see any muscle definition in me. But does that mean that I stop? No. I still go. I still keep it moving. I still do the best that I can. If I never get muscle definition, it doesn't matter in the long run because at the end of the day, I'm putting more energy in myself. I'm putting more mobility on myself. So when I get older, I'll still be able to move around and I can die without being in total pain. That's my goal. Is there other things that I would like to accomplish? Yes. But I'm understanding that those small steps that we take every day, they're way more important than the overall goal. The journey is important, more important than the finish line at the end of the day. And the only people that would say otherwise are the people that didn't have to take the journey, that just everything came to them. But then one day, if they lose it all, they're gonna have to understand that aspect and that point. So the question was, am I a deadbeat? Being 40 years old, no children, unmarried, with no real prospects for a relationship. The answer for me, me personally, I think not. The answer for you, it's up for you to decide. But that's all I wanted to say. I've been at this for a little bit over 20 minutes. Hey, it is what it is. It is what it is. I'm tired of explaining my point of view on certain things because at the end of the day, people are going to make their own assumptions about everything. But with that being said, I want to thank all those that came in to view what it is I got to say. I want to thank those that's going to listen to this after I get off the live stream. Um, I'm going to keep doing this. I'm going to keep expressing myself, and not everybody is going to agree what it is that I got to say. But at the end of the day, it's a lot of people that do agree with what I got to say, and they're going to find me, and they're going to listen, and they're going to say, "Hey, this dude makes a lot of sense." So, thank you very much, and have a nice evening.